Chetboun, the CEO and co-founder of Seekyo. We develop a new modality to treat solid tumors. Background is actually I've been spending 20 years in the biotech industry doing mainly business development in licensing, out licensing, some fundraising for company owned by larger company and some joint venture as well. So I have kind of experience from the inside of the biotech, biopharma industry, which I provide to Seekyo, which is an early biotech startup. A background is in immunology, then I did an MBA and several financial education, which actually helped me to see from the technology, product, and also company scale what is required to hopefully bring Seekyo to a later stage in its development. Well, solid tumors are breast, lung, prostate, colon, and pancreas, for example, and they do represent about 90% of adult cancer, and they lead to a huge quantity of death every year. If you look at 2022 alone, there were about 20 million cases discovered of solid cancer for patients, and about 9.7 million deaths worldwide. And that is not going to be better in the coming years. The projection is about 35 million case by 2050. So if you look at the impact of that, it's of course the increasing population due to obesity, due to the age, will increase also the number of solid tumor discovered, and that has a significant impact on healthcare system worldwide. So the economic burden includes not only the direct cost of treating patients, but also the what I would call indirect costs, such as the loss of productivity on the long run for those survivors of solid cancer. And of course, all the kind of risk exposure. So I mentioned the age, but there are also external factors such as tobacco, alcohol, obesity increase, which obviously has an impact on the prevalence of solid tumors. So this is a major challenge for every single country, every single healthcare system. Solid tumors are really challenging to treat because they do face several drawbacks. One of them is what I would call the tumor heterogeneity. So we always think that if you are a single patient with a single type of tumor, solid tumor, you should have the same type of cells, of cancer cells. But in fact, there are modifications in the genetic, in the molecular diversity, which is not only between patients, but also within the same single tumor. So the heterogeneity is something which is highly challenging to treat one solid tumor. You also have to face what we call the tumor microenvironment. And the tumor microenvironment is a very immunosuppressive type of environment. So the microenvironment surrounding solid tumors is typically hostile to every kind of immune cells because there's a low level of oxygen, what we call hypoxia. The pH is acid, and there are also a lot of immunosuppressive factors. So if you look at the effectiveness of therapy such as CAR T cell within the solid tumor, they are less efficient, I would say. And that is due to all these hostile microenvironments. There's also a very simple way which makes the solid tumor very difficult. It's a mass. It's a physical barrier, and that prevents any or all or most of the drug to penetrate inside the density of the extracellular matrix, and its abnormal vascularity make the drug delivery, very difficult. There are a few other reasons, such as the antigen variability. If you think of the antibody drugs conjugate strategy, which target a specific surface, a specific antigen on the surface cell, well, they have to find the right antigen. But there are variability within the antigen, within the same cell, between cancer cell, within the same solid tumor. And that is also another way which limits the effectiveness of current treatments. And I will finish off by the drug resistance. The more you expose a solid tumor to a drug, the more it becomes resistant. And that obviously needs and require a different strategy, a combination of several drugs, and that obviously has an impact on the health of the patient. Well, just before we talked about the tumor microenvironment, we talked about the resistance, we talk about the difficulty to penetrate inside the tumor. And what we've decided at Seekyo is to find a way to overcome the limitation induced by the chemotherapy, which is an obvious limitation because it does destroy healthy cells. If you look at the ADC, for example, it does target a specific marker, but microenvironments, cells, cancer cells are really different one to another. So you need something which is you could find in any kind of tumor, in any kind of solid tumor, in any kind of patients. And we looked at this kind of factor, and we felt that what we called functional proteins, which are specific enzyme expressed at a high concentration in the tumor microenvironment of all cancer, of all solid cancer, you could use that as a leverage effect. So what we do at Seekyo is really target those functional proteins in order to activate our drug delivery system. So said or in different way, we target those functional proteins to overcome the limitation, to overcome the heterogeneity. So we have developed a Sky1, which is our lead compound, which is formed by 3 payloads, a platform, and also a very, very smart linker, which will release the payload if and only if there's this specific enzyme. And this enzyme can be only found in the tumor microenvironment. So we inject by IV Sky1. Sky1 reach, thanks to the albumin, which increase the pharmacokinetics, reach the tumor microenvironment. And there we have a kind of answer, yes, no, 0, 1, because only the beta-glucuronidase can induce the release of that high toxic payload. And that is the success of Sky1. But the other very smart thing that we felt works as well is because beta-glucuronidase is expressed in all solid tumor, Sky1 can work in all solid tumor. And actually, we do have data on small animals and large animals showing that Sky1 is ubiquitous and very efficient. But more than very efficient, is very selective. And that's one of the key points, because by having 0, 1, yes, no type of activation, you can only be activated at the tumor site and nowhere else. And we've got data on that. We really focus on going to the people hanging around in the corridor and meeting with investors, that's for sure, but also meeting with strategic partners, because of course, like any early stage company, we are fundraising. That's obvious. We always fundraise. That's a must. But at the same time, we also are exploring other routes like partnering with the platform that we have, because that can be useful to pharma company which have drugs. They want to open up the therapeutic window, they want to increase the delivery, they want to increase the pharmacokinetic, whatever. And we've done that in the past with success, actually. So strategic partner, fundraising, and also, because it's very important, doing network. We need to keep alive, sorry, from with our colleagues, our former colleagues, our people who knows us. And investors are really a specific type of people. They see you today, they want to see you alive the year after. They want to see you alive the year after. And maybe they will invest in 3 years' time. So you have to be there. You have to show your face. You have to shake hands. You have to take beers. not too many. But yes, I think bio it's a great place to be, and I'm really looking forward to be in Boston.